What a Friday afternoon in upstate New York, nestled in the foothills of the Adirondack Mountains. This is Saratoga Race Course, and we are off and running the first of 40 days of racing at historic Saratoga Race Course. The crowd, and it was a big one, and they were betting with both fists, still hanging out, taking in the atmosphere. What a day here at the old spa. Hope you had a terrific opening day. I know the man sitting next to me did, as did I. It's Richard Migliore, Jason Blewitt. There's just nothing better than Saratoga Race Course, Mig, and this opening day, it just kicked off another summer, 7 weeks or so, in paradise. And they came out in droves. I mean, the excitement was palpable. You can see the people still hanging around, and that's what Saratoga does to you. It makes you want to linger and stay here, and it makes you want to get back here as soon as possible when you leave. And like you said, they came out and they were betting with both fists. Indeed, they were. Handle up just under $3 million, about 2.8 to be precise. 17.7 million off 14 and change a year ago on opening day of 2014. The game is alive and well, and I guess premature statements of thoroughbred racing being dead and buried. Well, I know for sure it's alive and well in the Spa City, and I think it's alive and well in a lot of other places as well, thinking about American Faro and the opportunity that we have to build on and get more people excited in our incredibly wonderful game. And this is a place where racing for many of us became more than a hobby or a sport. It became a lifelong obsession. And I'll tell you, today, from before post time of 1 p.m., place was rocking, and Chris Kay was out, little ribbon-cutting ceremony, some big doings, and although Saratoga is over a century and a half old, you can always make some new amenities for the fan, and here's a look at the Tom Durkin Race Replay Center. 24 of Tom's classic calls, of course, the Walk of Fame and the new carousel. So much to be enjoyed, so many ways to spend a day at the races here at the Spa, Mig. Well, and a place that's laden with history and something that we should continue to embrace. Saratoga is all about horse racing, and I like the some of the new improvements. I like seeing Johnny Velasquez checking out his little corner there. Good times at the Spa. And that Walk of Fame is the red jacket. The winners of the red jacket, the recipients of the red jacket, we're talking about titans of the industry who have made an unforgettable mark at Saratoga Race Course. Hall of Famer D. Wayne Lucas, Angel Cordero, Jerry Bailey, John Velasquez, the one and only H. Allen Jerkins, and how about his son Jimmy checking out the Chiefs plaque and all of his accomplishments in a career that lasted well over a half a century. In fact, we caught up with Jimmy. He had some nice words to say.
He was in it for so long and touched so many lives. And it was his whole life, you know. It was his, you know, of course family and everything was, but it took up so much of his time, and the fact that, you know, just everything just came together watching it, you know. The fact that he was able to amass this great success and at the same time be so, you know, never hurt anybody on the way up, never stepped on somebody on the way up, and always gave people a shot when he could. And you know, he was the whole package.
Getting a little emotional looking at that picture of the Chief and Jimmy from many years gone by, but a man, although he has left us, I mean, his mark will be a lasting mark on Saratoga and the game for the remainder of time. He touched so many lives in such a positive way and meant so much to so many people in this industry. He's gone. The thing that we have to hang on to is the mark he left behind, and Jimmy Jerkins. Jimmy is so much like his father. He's cut so much from the same cloth, and we're just lucky that we have him and his brand of horsemanship that carries over from his dad. A quiet day in the entry box for trader Jimmy Jerkins, who had a bang-up summer up here last year, batting just under 30%. He ran 1-2 in the Travers, but a busy trading hours session for Jimmy Jerkins. We'll get to his Whitney workers in just a second. And horses, I'll tell you, the work tab on both Oklahoma and the main track, long and extensive over at NYRA.com, and we had some heavy hitters stretching their legs today. Among them, Tonalist, of course, the Belmont and Jockey Club Gold Cup winner, who's done some nice things downstate. And I find it interesting that Christophe Clement has had Johnny Velasquez work him a few times. He's had a little bit of trouble. He gets a little rank in the middle of races. I think he wants Johnny to know this horse intimately. All right, Johnny V aboard for the third consecutive time in a Friday morning workout. And how about trainer Jimmy Jerkins? V.E. Day and Wicked Strong, pair of horses who both like it here at Saratoga. Yeah, V.E. Day showed how much he liked it, taking down the Whitney last year. And Wicked Strong, a horse that
was going to need a rider. Rajiv Mirage, unfortunately injured. He gets Luis Saez, and of course he showed how much he likes the spa with a win in the Jim Dandy and a second in that Travers. And think about that, Jason. Jimmy Jerkins has won 2 Travers, and he's only competed in 2 Travers with 3 starters, so he's got 2 wins in a second and almost a dead heat.
Do you subscribe to a horse for the course angle up here? I mean, clearly, as Wicked Strong won the Jim Dandy and V.E. Day won the Travers, both those horses flourished up here last summer.
I do think that Saratoga is a place that's horses for courses. We've seen it years in past where horses really, really excel up here. But I also think that it's a track that's very demanding, the main track, the dirt course. And the way Jimmy Jerkins trains his horses, he has them super fit. I think that's what makes Jimmy Jerkins' horses excel here.
All right, fair enough. 2-year-old fillies, they were in the spotlight first. 69 stakes to be run here, Mig, over the next 40 days. In fact, it was a wide-open race, even though they zeroed in on the Bernardini filly for the Todd Pletcher barn. Positively Royal. She's 6-5. It's the 97th running of the Schuylerville. And here is track announcer Larry Colmus.
And then it's decked out on the inside with Early Speed 2. Off the tracks came out running in 3rd position. Banry goes up on the far outside with Positively Royal. And then it's Aerialite, who's 5 lengths off the lead in the early stages. Then to the outside, it's 1 minute. Little Miss Miss trails the field as Moment is Right. Leads the way past the half-mile pole and runs a quarter in 22 seconds flat. Moment is Right, moving right along into the far turn. Off the tracks is second, and the favorite Positively Royal stalks the top 2 in third. Banry is 4 deep on the turn in fourth, and then it's decked out to the inside. 1 minute, 5 lengths off the lead. Aerialite and Little Miss Miss, and they're coming to the top of the stretch, and it's Moment is Right, turning for home in front. A 45 2/2 mile, and here's Off the Tracks, who goes right by her. Positively Royal not going on today. Off the Tracks leads the way. Banry is up into second. And then it's decked out on the inside. They're coming down to the wire. And Off the Tracks scores in the Schuylerville. Banry was second. And then it was decked out. And Moment is Right.
How about this? Off the tracks, off the beaten path. How many horses have come up from Florida, Mig, in the middle of the summer to win the Schuylerville? That's what happened here with this daughter of Curlin.
Well, and she did it with style. I mean, she really finished well. She came from off the pace. She's got a nice pedigree. Her trainer's first stake win and first runner ever in Saratoga. That's really heady stuff. And this filly looks like she'll go on. I think with her pedigree and the way she did things today, Jason, distance isn't going to be a problem.
Luis Saez, who got his feet wet with Wicked Strong earlier today and will ride that horse in the Whitney Invitational, was aboard Off the Tracks. Roderick Rodriguez, a happy Winner's Circle celebration as we move on to the second graded stake on the program today. In fact, we'll get that a bit later. Race number 6 is coming up next. Second half of this opening day card began on the main track as we send it back upstairs to Larry Colmus for the 2-year-old fillies in this maiden special weight.
Wicked, who sprints out to the front. Tessio on the inside, away with some Early Speed 2, and then it's First Salute away running in third. Lady Devil on the far outside. Nana Hauser next, and they're followed by Sassy Spirit, who's 5 lengths off the lead. Welcoming in Causeway Cutier after that, and ready for Chianti at the back of the field. And they move into the turn. First Salute is the leader through a 23 flat opening quarter mile. On top by a length. Lady Devil on the outside is second. Anna House third in contention to the outside. Then it's Just Wicked down toward the inside, followed by Silky Girl. Behind them, Sassy Spirit, Tessio down toward the rail. Then it's Welcoming, ready for Chianti and Causeway Cutie, and they're coming to the top of the stretch, and it's First Salute. Lady Devil to the outside. Lady Devil and First Salute up the rail. Just Wicked to the outside, Silky Girl. Anna House is fifth, and then comes Welcoming. It is Lady Devil in front, and on the inside, Just Wicked battles her, and Just Wicked's coming up the fence, and Just Wicked pulls away from Lady Devil. And then it was First Salute, followed by Silky Girl.
9 firsters, 1 second-time starter, and wouldn't you know it, the filly with experience proved best. A rail-skimming ride with this great filly by Tapit, Jose Ortiz, and Just Wicked.
And she needed every bit of that experience to kind of squeeze through some narrow quarters, turn it for home. Showed high speed, but then she raided in behind the pace, and we see this all the time. Tapit, they do anything.
They
Turf,
do it
dirt,
all.
long, short, they just do it.
It's amazing. He'll have that representation in the Whitney with the mighty Tonalist, and Steve Asmussen winning at Saratoga with second-time starters. It's the same kind of tradition as the bell ringing with 17 minutes to post. He does it every single summer up here.
Yeah, absolutely consistent, and Steve Asmussen was on the Hall of Fame ballot a few years ago. It shouldn't be too long before he gets his day across the street.
All right, graded stakes on the turf sounds pretty good. The Lake George, 9 3-year-old fillies, $200,000 purse. We'll check it out from the gate with Larry C. and all of you when we come back. We'll slow it down. We want the 40 days, the 7 weeks in upstate New York to go nice and slow. No better season than summer at Saratoga Race Course. And what a way to commemorate your visit to the spa on Sunday, July 26th, and with that Saratoga baseball cap.
Yeah, well, you always want something to remember summer, especially when those cold, dark days of winter settle in. But we'll always have Saratoga dreaming.
And we have Saratoga turf, the grass a big part of the game. How about it, Mig? And it's the Mig and Jason. Thank you for staying with us here on MSG Plus. Any change with these jockeys going from, say, the turf races downstate at Belmont on the Widener and the Inner to the Mellon and the Inner turf course here at Saratoga?
Yeah, I think experience counts over these courses, and I think you want to look for a rider that's shown he can be successful. It's a lot different riding the turf courses here as opposed to Belmont Park, where you have wider sweeping turns. Here, especially the Inner, 7 furlongs. Positions are just so crucial. Getting into the turns, getting out of the turns. You don't want to lose ground on either one of these courses. I like to see a guy show me he can ride these courses.
9 went to the post. Without further ado, it is the second and final graded stakes on a card in which we had some ominous skies and even a tornado warning. Just a few raindrops here and there. Turf's firm, 3-year-old fillies, the Lake George, and we go back to Larry Colmus.
And Feathered goes right out to take the early lead. Cara Marie on the inside is away second. And then it's Civilier and Mississippi Delta, who's now going up in between horses. Civilier is near the back of the field early on. As they race into that first turn, it's going to be Feathered in front early on. Feathered the leader on top a length and a half, with Cara Marie running in second and now taken to the outside to put some pressure on. And then it's Robillard in third. All in Fun is fourth down on the inside. Mrs. McDougal and Mississippi Delta after that. And then comes Jellicle Ball, followed by Partisan Politics and Civilier at the back. 24 and 4 was the first quarter. It is Feathered on top a half length. And Cara Marie on the outside is second. All in Fun just behind them and right next to Robillard, and they're 2 lengths off the lead. Mrs. McDougal, Mississippi Delta next, and then Jellicle Ball to the inside, followed by Partisan Politics, and Partisan Politics is about 7 lengths off the lead right now, and leading only Civilier past a 49 flat half mile into the far turn. It is Feathered in front by a half a length. Cara Marie keeps the pressure on in second. Robillard is going up in third. Then it's All in Fun. Mrs. McDougal making steady progress on the outside, and then Mississippi Delta. Civilier bottled up at the back of the field as they come to the top of the stretch. And here comes Cara Marie to make a run for the lead. Cara Marie on the outside. Feathered tries to battle her. Mrs. McDougal is closing in on the far outside. All in Fun is coming too. Then it's Jellicle Ball and Partisan Politics on the far outside. They're coming down to the line in the Lake George, and it's Mrs. McDougal who has won it. Mrs. McDougal over Feathered, and then came Cara Marie.
4-wide stalking trip, no problem for Mrs. McDougal, who was pretty gritty and game out in the middle of the turf course, and she grinds out the win over a blanket finish.
A really strong performance from her, and I got to think, even though she was wide, the change in tactics, the fact that she showed less speed early but more speed late, maybe they found her forte.
Mile and a quarter proved a bit too far last time out in the Grade 1 American Oaks. A mile and a 16th in today's co-featured Lake George to her liking, and very pleased with the effort. Trainer Chad Brown, who won his second on the afternoon and was alongside the MiG.
Chad, Mrs. McDougal really came through with a big finish.
Yeah.
A little bit of change of tactics today.
Yeah, well, really due to the post. I mean, she couldn't quite clear everyone to get up front or get in a close stalking position. He got hung out a little bit. I was very concerned throughout the race. He was losing too much ground, really just due to the post. And Irad just went with it and kept a steady flow on the outside. And for as wide as she went the whole race, I mean, she was really much the best.
Do you think she'll come back in the next one in the
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, excuse me.
It's a little tight. It's possible. I generally don't like running on back that soon, my turf horses, but we'll just let her tell us. And if she's up to it, the way she finished, extra distance won't hurt her.
How important it is for you to get off to a good start here? Obviously, you're from not far away. You grew up around here. What does it mean to you to win on opening day?
Oh, it just means so much. Just, get on the scoreboard right away and have 2 wins is just great. At Saratoga, no matter how many horses you have or how good they are, you can't take anything for granted because the racing's so difficult. So to get 2 wins on opening day is huge.
Great. Now, Lady Eli, she's battling laminitis. How is she doing?
Thankfully, I can report she's doing really well. All the specialists that have been working with her, we're so thankful for all their time. They couldn't be pleased with where she is right now, considering the circumstances. We're really hoping she can put this behind her. So every day, every week we can put in the rear view is a good day.
Great. That's great news, and congratulations. Thank you.
And that might just be the best news of all. Mrs. McDougall, very nice horse, but, Lady Eli, devastating news a couple weeks ago, but it sounds like, and Chad noted, she has made strides, and big strides, over the last week and change.
Yeah, he was saying off camera how they've kind of set goals for her every week, the veterinarian team, himself, and how she's hit every mark so far and going forward. So hopefully the worst is behind her, and she'll continue to get better. Just a sensational filly.
All right, Chad Brown, locked and loaded for this 2015 Saratoga racing season. Ira Ortiz, by the way, the winning rider aboard Mrs. McDougall. What else happened today? Number of top jockeys in competition, and it all happened right here at Saratoga Race Course. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and don't forget the 10th.
Outside, and they're into the stretch, and it's Fox Rules on the inside. To the outside comes Beyond Empire. Beyond Empire is taking the lead. Royal Posse runs at him, and here comes Sea Raven on the far outside. Final 16th, Royal Posse, Sea Raven. These two coming down to the wire in the spa opener, and here's Sea Raven to win it. And then it was Royal Posse, followed by Beyond Empire. Stretch. Then it's Lemon Liqueur, Corinthians Joy 4th, Argyle Gal is 5th, and they're into the stretch, and it's Freudsalm off the turn in front. Freudsalm comes into the final furlong, trying to hold off Lemon Liqueur. And then it's Here Comes Rosie to the outside in 3rd. As they come to the final 16th, it's Freudsalm, and Lemon Liqueur goes by her late. Lemon Liqueur has taken the lead. Here Comes Rosie takes 2nd. Lemon Liqueur and Jose Ortiz to win it by 2.5. And then it was Here Comes Rosie, Freudsalm, and Flatware. That Warrior Girl is getting going along with Hope's Roar. They're into the stretch. Saratoga by design. Here's Tacoma. Tacoma runs up alongside. On the inside, Little Mary Ellen. On the outside, it's Hope's Roar. Saratoga by design trying to hold them all off. And here's Khaleesi Cat finishing with a flourish on the far outside. And Khaleesi Cat is up to win. A blanket finish behind her. Saratoga by design, Little Mary Ellen, and Flying KC. And they coming to the top of the stretch, and it is Kelly's Prize who's still there with a furlong to run. Reversion to the Mean is next, and then comes Nile Princess, Queen of Z Nile on the outside, and Annie Walker. It's Reversion to the Mean. On the outside comes Kelly's Prize. Kelly's Prize has got it close to home. Kelly's Prize on the wire. And then it was Julie them. Ascot Girl is closing up on the far outside. So too Dating Lady Luck. And they're into the stretch. And here comes the Teacups to take the lead. Bishop's Pond fires through on the inside. La Hinch Classics is there on the far outside. And then comes Trophy with a late run with Dating Lady Luck. They're coming down to the line, and Bishop's Pond's got it close to home. Bishop's Pond has won it. Dating Lady Luck got 2nd. Then a photo with the Teacups and La Hinch Classics, who carry their speed to the top of the stretch. Manhattan Mischief is 2nd to the outside. Pulling G's comes into the stretch in 3rd. Then comes Doc Ullman down to the last furlong. Scatter Joy holding on to the lead. Here's Pulling G's on the outside. These two into the final furlong. Doc Ullman down toward the inside, but in the center of the track, it is Pulling G's down toward the inside. Double down again. Pulling G's won it by a neck. Then double down again. Behind them, down toward the rail, Culprits trying to get going too. And then comes Cowboy Boots, and I Got the Disco in Me. And they're coming to the top of the stretch, and it's Big Blue Talent. Big Blue Talent drifting out with a clear lead here, opening up to lead by 4 as they come inside the final furlong. And then comes Cowboy Boots on the outside of Who's the Daddy as they come down to the 16th pole. Big Blue Talent getting leg weary, reaching for the wire. But Big Blue Talent will hold on, I believe, at the wire. And ranging up late, we're fit to keep.
Close one in the nightcap. Paco Lopez held safe. 36,000. The pick 6 carryover into Saturday. The pair riders, Mig, walked away with a riding double.
Yeah, riding well. Jose Ortiz, Junior Alvarado. Always good to get off to a fast start here. I thought it was fitting that Hall of Famer Johnny Velasquez won the first race of the meet.
That was pretty cool. Saratoga wins 770 for Johnny V. And a few claims. Race 3 kicked it off with Tacoma all the way through the nightcap.
Yeah, everybody wants to load up. You get a chance to run back once or twice here if you get them early.
I like that. We'll actually run a couple of times regarding the Saturday preview. 2 graded stakes on day number 2, the Sanford and the Grade 1 Diana. Always a good time. Post the nightcap here at the spa, the At the Post bar over by the Shake Shack in the paddock, packed. What a Friday evening here in late July at Saratoga Race Course. And, Mig, the best bargain in town, a Saratoga Race Course season pass.
And you wind up getting in for a fraction of the cost. If you only use it 7 or 8 times, it pays for the whole season. And if you're in this area, I know you're going to come more than 7 or 8 times. Heck, we make all 40 days.
1 to 20 will be here all 40. We hope to have you a good chunk of those racing cards. And I'll tell you, we do hold races like the Schuylerville and Sanford. They have a lot of history. We hold them in high regard, and we'll do it tomorrow with the boys. In fact, the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings take center stage. First up in race number 9, the Grade 3 Sanford. And here's our first replay. Downstate to Belmont Park with a look at the Tremont, Cocked and Loaded, and Payne's Prairie.
Yeah, and I love these 2-year-old races. It's a harbinger of things to come. Champions are unveiled here in Saratoga. Cocked and Loaded, I like the fact that this horse shows the ability to come from off the pace. He's taking kickback, dirt in the face. He finishes well. Payne's Prairie fought it out gamely, came back with a nice maiden win, but he's going to have to face heat up front early.
Outside post, Uncle Vinny. He's the colt by Uncle Mo for Todd Fletcher. A troubled start last time out in the Tremont, and he ran well at his debut.
And we know that this horse has a ton of ability. He was basically eliminated at the start. And what he showed me, though, is that he's got grit and determination, not just ability. The fact that he was only beaten 7.5 lengths after this very troubled trip, I think with a clean getaway and from the outside he'll be in a much better position.
Trainer Todd Fletcher looking for win 6 in the Sanford. Let's move on to the Kentucky Shipper, and you get a few of them in this race. We'll move on to the Texas bred for Brett Calhoun. He's coming in hot.
And this is some of the speed I was talking about. He's coming in hot. Well, he's got some high heat, and he's going to be entertained by horses like Payne's Prairie. He's going to have to show he can move that Churchill Downs form to the mecca of thoroughbred racing, Saratoga.
All right, Brett Calhoun sending out or at the controls and sending out. He's coming in hot. A good horse can come from anywhere. He'll get the real test, as the Mig said, tomorrow. Let's move on to race number 10, the opening Grade 1 of the meet, the Diana. $500,000 on the line, fillies and mares on the turf. A very important race in this division. A rematch may go off the Just a Game on Belmont Day.
Tepin got an absolutely perfect trip here. Finished extremely well. I think Lady Lara was much more up against it, trying to close into that pace, and I think her 4th was good enough to see her turn things around. The only thing is she's got to overcome an outside post position.
A day before the Just a Game, it was My Miss Sophia running away and hiding from lesser foes, but her turf race, man, was she impressive.
Her turf debut, and she just absolutely exploded. In 1 1/8 miles at Belmont Park in 146 and change is a serious race. This is a filly that I think if they allow her to use her speed like they did this day, she could be very tough to run down.
How about the longevity of Stephanie's Kitten, who's competing in her 3rd consecutive Diana, and she's gotten in the past so close, nearly winning this race in 13 and in 14, which we're looking at.
Beaten less than a neck combined in those 2 efforts. Closes well. Well, they're going to try to put a rabbit in there, Kitten's Queen, to help set up a pace for her. I don't know that Kitten's Queen's faster than some of these horses naturally in there. Let's see if she has that kind of speed to set it up for her much more heralded stablemate, Stephanie's Kitten.
All right, she's the 6-year-old mare with Irad Ortiz, and we have a couple of elder statesmen joining us, Andy Serling and Maggie Wolfendale, who have done the work, and here's a few winners coming your way.
Thanks a lot, guys. Let's go to the big one. Let's go to the Grade 1 Diana for my pick. A very, very interesting race. Now, we'll see if the Rabbit, who may not be as fast as some of the other speeds in this race, if she can do her job and help Stephanie's Kitten win this race. And I don't think there's any doubt that Stephanie's Kitten is the horse to beat in the Diana. She was a tough luck loser last time, and she's going to be a handful in here. On the other hand, I'm going to try to beat her. And I'm not going to try to beat her with My Miss Sophia, who can certainly win. I'm not trying to beat her with 10 pins, who I'll get in the winner's circle again. I'm trying to win with another Bill Mott horse in this race, and that's the 7 Lady Laura, who I think is going to offer very good value in the roughly 8-to-1 range. Lady Laura has been very unlucky in the last 2 races she's been in, paceless races that very much favored speed. I think this Rabbit's really going to help her in here, and I think they'll be running at the end. I don't know if she can beat Stephanie's Kitten. I'll certainly use her in the exacta, but I think the win price will be right in Lady Laura, and she's the right one to take a shot with in the Grade 1 Diana as we head out to Maggie.
Hoping to get this Saratoga Paddock Insider off with a bang, as I'm going to look for a long price in tomorrow's Sanford. It's a Grade 3 event, and looking at number 4 in here, that is Magna Light. Honestly, of the ones that I've seen in this field, looking at them at a purely physical aspect, this one stands head and shoulders above the rest. I was so impressed with Magna Light when he walked into the paddock that day, albeit he was an MTO in an off-the-turf race. So, yes, maybe talent is lacking. He definitely doesn't have the best pedigree of the horses in here. But just from that physical standpoint, he is tops for me. I was really, really impressed with this guy. Very professional. I don't think that first race took much out of him. He's coming in for Rudy Rodriguez. Obviously, much tougher field, but it's not like those horses in that off-the-turf race came back to run that badly on the intended surface, the turf last time out. So I'm going to take a shot here with 15-to-1 morning line, Magna Light, for your first Paddock Insider of this Saratoga season. Guys, back to you.
Little Rudy Rodriguez potentially pulling the upset in Maggie's eyes in tomorrow's co-featured Sanford. And then later on, Andy Serling hopes to get Lady Lara home, one of 2 Bill Mott-trained fillies in the race. She will be the bigger price than My Miss Sophia, and as Andy noted, she ran very well in that Belmont Stakes undercard.
She really did, and they, even though they're not a coupled entry, they really complement each other. One has speed, one's a closer. Could really set up. Lady Lara really didn't get any help up front last time in the Just a Game. She is going to get pace and a little more distance. And I agree. I think you're going to get a very square price.
And they both start for the Master. He has won the Diana at least a handful of times. We'll have Bill Mott in action tomorrow. 11 races, $36,000 the pick 6 carryover, $500K the minimum in that late pick 4. We're excited. We hope you are. We'll see you back here for day number 2, beginning at 1 p.m. Good night, everybody.